Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking for those big insights, but maybe in places you wouldn't expect. Sometimes the most interesting stuff isn't in the headlines. It's hidden kind of in plain sight in the digital things we use every day and just scroll past.
Exactly. And that's our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To pull out some, well, surprising knowledge from what looks like the most boring part of a website. Because often, these little details, they're actually the bedrock.
Yeah.
They show you how the whole complex system really works. It's core ideas, like finding the DNA.
Okay, so what are we dissecting today? It's, believe it or not, just a tiny snippet from the very bottom of YouTube's homepage. That block of text, the fine print most of us never read.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out it's like a mini map to the entire YouTube universe. Offers a surprisingly full picture.
It really does.
So specifically, we've got this list about press, copyright, contact us, creators, advertise, developers. Then there's terms, privacy, policy, and safety, how YouTube works, test new features. Quite a list. And tucked away, there's also this 2025 Google LLC, which is interesting.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But you see how that list, just those words and the copyright, it actually outlines, well, pretty much everything. YouTube's operations, the legal stuff, how they deal with creators, advertisers, developers, even where they're headed next.
No, don't just text them.
Oh, much more. These represent real, dynamic relationships, vital functions. We're talking about one of the biggest content platforms on Earth, and this is like its blueprint hiding at the bottom.
Okay, let's unpack it. First up, about. Seems straightforward, maybe a mission statement? Or is there more to it for a platform like YouTube?
Well, yes and no. It is a statement, but for YouTube, about isn't static. It has to constantly shift, adapting to content trends, how people use this site, even global politics. It's where they try to frame that tricky balance between free expression and, well, immense responsibility.
So it's their public face constantly being adjusted.
Precisely. A dynamic declaration of purpose.
Okay. And right after defining themselves, we see press. Now, for a giant like YouTube, dealing with the media must be huge. It's not just announcements, it's shaping the narrative. Right.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And think about it. How does a platform built on user content control its own story? That press link is about centralized messaging. It's vital for trust, for tackling misinformation, not just about videos, but about YouTube itself. Strategic communication, basically.
Which flows into something fundamental, copyright. This feels like the absolute foundation for creators making a living on YouTube. But with billions of videos,
Yeah.
how on earth do they manage copyright enforcement at that scale? That must be incredibly hard.
It's a massive challenge. You nailed it. It's not just about having rules. It's acting as a digital rights manager for an ocean of content. Huge technical hurdles, huge legal ones. But copyright, it makes monetization possible, allows creators to potentially earn. So YouTube has to walk this tightrope, protect rights holders, but also avoid, unfair takedowns or stifling creativity. It's a constant balancing act.
Then there's contact us. You sometimes wonder if that's just shouting into the void on massive platforms.
Yeah, I get that feeling too.
But it must be more strategic. For literally billions of users, it's the main door for feedback, for help when things go wrong.
Right. And even if most queries get funneled through FAQs or forums, just having that contact us signals something important. It signals accessibility, responsiveness, even if it's largely automated behind the scenes. In our automated world, that direct line, or the appearance of one, is key for trust. It suggests accountability.
Okay, now this one's really central. Creators. That's not just a category, it feels like the heart of YouTube. Their entire model depends on these people.
Absolutely. It's the lifeblood.
So this link must point to all the tools, the resources, the support systems that let people build channels, maybe even careers. It shows their commitment.
Totally. Creators shows that shift. YouTube isn't just hosting videos anymore. It's actively enabling digital livelihoods. It's a core strategic pillar. It shapes everything they do, from new features to their community rules.
And sitting right next to creators is advertise, the other side of the coin.
Exactly.
This is where the money comes from, connecting brands to the audiences the creators attract.
That's the dual market right there.
Yeah.
Connect creators with viewers, then connect advertisers with those same viewers. It lays bare the business model. This is what keeps the lights on and allows all that content to be, free to watch.
Next, developers. Okay, this might seem a bit technical for some users, but it's actually really significant, isn't it?
Hugely significant, yeah.
Developers suggest they have an API, an application programming interface,
Yeah.
that lets other people build things that work with YouTube.
Right. It fosters a ton of innovation. Think about all the third-party tools out there. apps for managing playlists, analytics tools that go deeper than YouTube's own, ways to embed videos smoothly on other sites.
Ah, okay.
That's all possible because of the API. It extends YouTube's reach way beyond youtube.com. It shows they're aiming to be a platform, not just a website, not a walled garden.
Got it. Then we get the essential legal stuff. Terms and privacy. Very important.
Correct.
Terms, that's the rule book for everyone. Your rights, your responsibilities, and privacy, how your data gets used, stored, protected. Super critical now with regulations like GDPR.
Spot on. These two are the legal and ethical handshake between you and YouTube. And crucially, they aren't static. They
Yeah.
have to change constantly. New tech, new laws like GDPR, shifting ideas about privacy. These documents are always evolving to keep up. They're living blueprints for compliance and trust.
And linked to that, policy and safety. This feels broader than just rules. It's about shaping the community itself.
Yes, exactly. It's about content moderation, fighting harmful stuff, trying to keep the platform, well, reasonably safe.
Which must be incredibly complex.
Unbelievably complex. Policy and safety highlights YouTube's role not just as a host, but as a steward. A reluctant one, maybe, sometimes. It shows the difficulty of balancing free speech with preventing harm across countless cultures, languages, political contexts. It's a constant, messy negotiation of global norms.
Okay, how YouTube works. That's an interesting one to include. It suggests they're trying to be more transparent,
It does,
explaining maybe the algorithms, the recommendation engine, why you see the videos you see.
It points towards demystification, an effort to explain the black box a little.
Yeah.
People are more aware now, asking questions about algorithms. So this is about building user trust by explaining how content gets surfaced, acknowledging that public interest in transparency.
And the last one on the list, test new features.
Yeah.
This screams innovation, right? Constant evolution. It's like saying we're always tinkering, always trying new things. A peek into their R&D.
It really shows their development process is user-involved. They use their massive audience for feedback. They can try things out, see what works, iterate quickly based on real usage. It tells you, as a user, you're kind of part of this ongoing development cycle.
Okay, so that covers the list, but then there's that final piece, 2025 Google LLC. Now, we're recording this before 2025, so why the future date? What does that tell us?
That's a fascinating little detail, isn't it? Why put a future year on a copyright notice? They could suggest a few things. Maybe it's just practical, setting it forward so they don't have to update it on January 1st every single year across countless pages. Or, more strategically, it speaks to the ongoing nature of digital content and platform ownership for giants like Google. It's not just about protecting what exists now.
It's forward-looking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an evergreen statement of rights, anticipating future content, future platform changes. It subtly underscores the continuous development and the legal foresight needed at this scale. It even touches on the nature of digital documents themselves, how they represent something constantly in flux.
Wow. Okay, so just from that footer, that small print, we've actually unpacked a lot. It really hammers home that idea that key information about how these huge platforms work is often just sitting there, hidden in plain sight. Amazing how much you can grasp about structure, priorities, who they value, creators, advertisers, just by looking closely at these bits we normally ignore.
And that connects to, digital literacy. Being critically aware, understanding these basic building blocks actually empowers you, the user. It helps you navigate these services better, understand the forces at play. These aren't just boring links. They outline policies and relationships that directly affect what you see and how your data is handled. They're vital parts of the ecosystem.
So it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What does it really mean that a platform this huge, this woven into our lives, lays out its entire scope, creators, ads, rules, future plans in these few short links? And that copyright notice, that 2025 date, what does that signal about how these massive digital entities constantly evolve, and maybe about how digital information itself is documented?
Right. And think about how those links, that date seemingly static text, actually represent constantly shifting policies, complex relationships that shape your digital world. It makes you wonder, what other vital information is hiding in plain sight on the services you use every single day, just waiting for someone to take a closer look? What else could a deep dive reveal?